Oh, it's DV Tuesday, which means Chris Gore will be here to discuss Nicolas Cage's distracting hair plugs. Plus, Brendan lines up for some priceless Star Wars autographs. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say priceless? I meant a couple of bucks on eBay. Yeah, and if you like shrooms, then you'll love meeting the creator of the popular cartoon Rise of the Mushroom Kingdom. Of course, if you like shrooms, then you also like pretty colors, which means you'll watch anyways. Now, fear, pain, and defeat do not exist in this dojo. Attack of the Show strikes first. Strikes hard, no mercy.
Pick up on this.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Attack of the Show.
Yes, it's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. Good day, big day.
Yes, big day today.
Big, huge, important things. Massive, gigantic things are
Sarah's
happening today.
got some of those things going on.
Tell us all about them, Sarah.
Oh, the big, gigantic, massive thing?
Yeah, the super big surprise that we were planning for everybody. Tell
Wait,
them.
I can't ruin the surprise.
Oh.
I actually don't know what the surprise is. I'm a little confused. But today is Tuesday, which is code for DV Tuesday.
Yes.
And you know that I love DV Tuesday, so I'm very excited about that.
You actually highlight and draw smiley faces all over your calendar on each Tuesday. It's like it's a little column of smiley faces. Because of Chris Gore, or because of you just really like DVDs?
You're so weird. I don't even know how to respond to that.
All right, fair enough. All right.
That's
I'm not
awesome.
supposed to talk about the calendar.
I feel the same way all the time. That's funny. Now,
great.
there's
Look this way.
No, Kev,
Yeah.
come back.
I'm here.
We showed off some pretty cool iPod accessories, but then the forums start blowing up. Where are the speakers? Where are the speakers? We want to see all the cool speakers. Well, we have some from our labs.
You'll do anything for those forum kids.
That's right. I love them forum kids. This is the Bose Sound Dock, and now it goes for $300, but the labs say it gives a rich and full sound. Yeah, even at high volume. So we really like it, but it is $300. Now,
What's
if you
the
want,
deal? Okay, so not battery powered, nothing like that. Okay,
no,
so you plug it in, there you go.
It's pretty straightforward. It just sits there, it charges, you got volume up, volume down.
And that's
it
about
doesn't sync to your Mac or your PC, though.
Oh, okay.
So you can't, like, add music while it's sitting in the dock. It's not a true dock.
All right.
So now this little guy right here, this is a pretty cool little one. Check this one out. This is the JBL On Stage. Now, it's only $160. Now, it's the smallest speaker set that you can find available. And actually, it's the cheapest. It's actually much cheaper than the Bose, obviously, about about half the price. But it has better highs than lows. It's not really good with the bass. I mean, the speakers are extremely small. But one thing I do like is that there's a couple different features. Take a look at the back right here. It has an audio in, so that even if you don't have an iPod, you can hook in, another third-party player there. The iPod actually comes and just sits right in the dock just like that.
Nice.
Volume up and down. And this does actually act as a sync. So it charges your iPod. It syncs with your iPod. Oh. And it's omnidirectional, too. There's speakers everywhere. Right, exactly. So this has to kind of just be facing you. I don't know. I like that one a little bit better. I mean, it's not quite as good as sounding as the Bose. Sure. But it's a lot less expensive, and it does more, which is always cool. So the best value, then, is right here, then. Yeah, and it's easy to carry around. I mean, you can throw that in your backpack, and it's super lightweight, so it's like a little Frisbee almost.
There you go. Cool. All right, now, lots of people do the Flickr apps and make Google Maps apps. They're all doing APIs, little plugins and whatnot. And one popped up last night. It really got popular online. It's called GeoBloggers. Now, this site combines Flickr images with Google Maps, so you can search for locations, longitude and latitude. Let's take a look at Chicago here. So here's your Google Maps interface. The little pegs, just like you'd have on a regular Google Maps. But when you click on one, you get a photo that's been tagged in Flickr with that area, with that longitude and latitude.
Now, how does it find the tags of the longitude and latitude?
People have to enter those tags.
How do they get that information, though?
Well, they can search for on the internets.
Is it kind of, well, what I was really curious is, like, eventually at some point they'll start having little GPS units built into the phones that and then it'll tag it automatically.
Right, well, they have digital cameras that have the GPS built in already. Yeah.
So they're taking the pictures, they upload them later, it has the information already embedded, the metadata, and then boom, you're good to go.
Exactly.
That's
cool. It's like A9.com times 10, because now you can have whatever photos were taken there.
People still use A9.com?
On the OC they do.
Yeah,
that's about the gist of it. But they're adding zip code searching now, too, which is really great. So when that feature comes out, you'll be able to go to your neighborhood and see what photos are there. Oh, it's pretty. Oh, speaking of tags, Text America just added tags as well. Oh, nice. So now you have like Technorati, Delicious, Text America, like all these sites, Flickr, they're all starting to add tags and start talking with each other. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how the
people
internet
start categorizing all this
tagged
stuff.
Up.
That's right.
All right.
Now, there's a new version of the ever so popular, now I have no idea how to say this, is it Azarius?
Azarius?
You know what I'm talking about. It's the very popular BitTorrent client.
Yes.
And the coolest new feature has to be for the fact that they've actually gone trackerless. So now you can create torrents that aren't reliant upon a tracker. So if your favorite site gets shut down, Supernova, then the download is going to continue on. So let me show you how it works. Basically, you do file, new torrent, and then rather than using an external tracker, which you still can do, you just choose this little option right here that says to decentralize it. Now, this only works with their client.
Right. This
right
is
now,
some proprietary tech, but it is open source.
It is open source, so anybody can take it and put it into their client. So we choose there. It says choose a single file. So we can go in next here. It's going to ask us for the name of the file that we want to actually create a torrent out of. We'll just say this file. I don't even know what that is.
Thrilling.
Choose next, and then we'll say open this torrent for seeding when it's done and host the torrent on the built-in tracker. Choose finish, and then you can see it's going to instantly create it and add it, and you can see at the very bottom here, I'll click close. There's the file. I'm now seeding the file. It puts a little happy, or like a little guy, a little picture there with a little hand underneath him, letting you know that you're actually seeding the file. And there's no tracker. There's no tracker associated with this, so you start giving the torrent out to people, and then...
And is the point of this anonymous, or to keep it anonymous?
It's not anonymous.
It has nothing to do with anonymity.
Right. It has to do with, like, decentralizing it. So that basically, once I start seeding this to other people and they download it, they are then kind of like the trackers, because that database gets spread across all the users. So if I drop out of the loop, even though I was the original seed or the original tracker, it's still going to continue on and keep sharing with other people.
Right. And how many times have you clicked on a BitTorrent and gone out there and it says a bad tracker?
Right.
Or the tracker's busy,
like,
or you get timeout, and you're screwed, even though there's tons of people sharing it still.
This is huge. This is going to be amazing.
Good to hear. I love the Azarius.
If you know how to pronounce it, let us know.
Please help out. Now, real quickly, back to the old Flickr. The 7 deadly sins, Kevin. They are greed, lust, envy, gluttony, pride, and sloth. And here they are represented as gummy bears. They're just going to say it. There they are. There's the gummy sloth. You can see he's kind of lounging there. Let's go on to, I think this is Gummy Pride. Hold on, let's see if Gummy Pride will load. Pride's a great one.
I love these guys have tagged it, too. 7 deadly sins. If you go /tags.
Yeah, there's like 12 tags for each photo. But there's Pride. He's kind of looking off boastfully. People were excited about this morning. It's kind of cute. The guy used the gummy bears, and that's lust. Yeah, clearly.
I love how you always bring like the cute things to the show.
Look,
the kitten wars.
Cute stuff happens.
Yeah,
you gotta. This Envy's great. Envy's really well done. Someone took the time to do this. Someone uploaded it. We should point it out. That's great. Look at he's green with envy. Get it?
That's freaking amazing, Kevin.
All right, fine.
That's awesome.
All right. We're taking your tech calls today. The number is 800-839-7880, and you can email us through our web form, g4tv.com/askaots.
Yes, and of course you can chat with us in IRC chat room. Just tell Firefox to go to chat.g4tv.com.
Yes. Yell at it angrily.
Yeah.
When we come back, a classic space opera filled with daring rescues, dark forces, and rogue heroes? That's right. Screw George Lucas. Chris Gore shows us his shorts.
I think it's time to celebrate my personal weekly holiday, TV Tuesday! And of course, Chris Gore is with us again. Welcome back, man.
You keep bringing me back.
You're duff.
I'm duff.
You're duff today.
I'm duff. If I was in Shelbyville, I'd be drinking FUD. That's an in-joke for all you Simpsons geeks out there.
Yeah, darn it. I haven't watched The Simpsons in a few seasons.
Oh, you got to watch it.
I know.
Good.
I've got no excuse. All right, so let's get right into this. We've got lots of DVDs to talk about today. The first one, Star Trek Enterprise first season. Has some sentimental value now, doesn't it?
Sentimental, I guess, if you like the show.
Well, to those particular fans.
Honestly, yeah, I was not a big fan of this show. I liked the pilot episode, Broken Bow, however you want to pronounce it. And there's some cool commentary on it, actually. But I was not a big fan of this series. So
and neither were a lot of Trekkers, as they call themselves.
Well, yeah, for me...
That was the problem.
Well, for me, after Next Gen, Star Trek just started to fizzle, and I was expecting, like, oh, this is great. It's a prequel. It's Enterprise.
Right.
We're finally going to see red shirts.
So many questions will be answered.
Yes, red shirts, blue shirts, those beige shirts, and those go-go boots and mini skirts. But they didn't get to that. I'm thinking, like, let's go back to the... it didn't happen. Of course, I watched the premiere episode. The box set, I got to say, they did a really good job on this box set.
There you go.
So there's a lot, there's
For
extras.
the fans, there's something there.
For the fans, there's something there. It's kind of a cool box, and there's audio commentary, and there's a text commentary, which is really cool, kind of giving you little factoids. And then if you poke around, you'll find, like, on some of the control panels, there's you can click buttons. It's real nerdy. But,
you
know
think?
What? It's one of those things where, for me, it's a rental.
It's a rental.
It's a rental.
It's good, but not that good. In your expert opinion.
I'd watch it, but if someone saw it on my shelf, I think that would be
You might hide it behind the other DVD.
Yeah, too geeky even for me.
So it's a rental. Okay, moving on. National Treasure. This was big. This was a big blockbuster. What was it? Was it last summer?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was one of those Jerry Bruckheimer, so dumb it's fun action
Indiana
movies.
Jones wannabe.
Yeah, like that. In fact, what
I
kind
know
of
the kind.
annoyed me about this movie is it actually kind of tricks you into learning U.S. history. For example, did you know that the United States started out as 13 colonies?
What do you think?
So,
yeah.
Yeah, just.
I took U.S. history.
So,
but who else knows that?
Who else knows that?
Right.
But if you go see this Jerry Bruckheimer action movie, you're actually going to get tricked into learning U.S. history.
Well, that's kind of fun for the kids.
It is fun for the kids.
Yeah.
You know what?
Because who wants to know U.S. history unless it's fun? And made by Jerry Bruckheimer.
I was shocked that I actually had a good time watching this. The DVD itself, I got to say, kind of sparse DVD. There's no director commentary. There is actually an alternate ending that comes with commentary, which is.
I hate those though.
But the alternate ending is kind of cool because it sets up a sequel. Is there a treasure map on the back of the Constitution?
But it's like, so why didn't they just release that ending? I don't want to. I don't want the movie to change up on me.
Well, no, that was kind of a cool extra.
Yeah.
But for my money, unfortunately, I gotta say, with the extras being so sparse on this, you know where I'm going with this? Go ahead, you do it.
A rental?
It's a rental. Yeah. It's a
Not
rental.
so bad it's a pass, but
Right.
again, might go behind the other DVDs.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where it's like, you know what? This is going to come out in a double disc, tons of extra set.
Yeah,
you
just
kinda,
forget this one.
You can
This
smell
is the first round. This is alpha.
Yeah, you can smell that there's a special edition coming down the road.
Gotcha. Well, as far as collector's editions go, we have Spaceballs, the collector's edition. Who doesn't like Spaceballs?
Spaceballs. Well,
Don't disappoint me, Chris Gore.
you know what? I saw this when it made the rounds at theaters the first time around.
When was that? Like
which was like
1984?
it was the late '80s. I was around back then.
Yeah,
I was
too.
around back then.
I was a kid.
But
I saw it.
it's one of those things that actually, to me, kind of felt dated when it came out. It was like
It was supposed to
kind of-
be. It was campy.
Yeah, and it's the Mel Brooks. I'm not sure he totally gets all the geekiness. A lot of the humor is, that sort of cheesy, your uncle making jokes kind of humor.
Sure.
One of the funny things, the original title for Spaceballs was called Planet Moron, and they changed it to, and they were going to do a sequel, Spaceballs 2: The Search for More Money. But this is what I found out on the disc. There is some really cool extras.
Very useless trivia.
And there's lots of useless extras. On the menu screen, you can find like these Easter eggs that are pretty easy to find. On the view screen, you can go into ludicrous speed, and you can actually watch the entire movie in 30 seconds.
Yeah, right. That's fun one.
But the commentary, you really don't learn a lot about Mel Brooks' process other than he doesn't like to direct. Directing's not fun. One of the things that I found cool, they point out the flubs. This is what we're seeing right now. These are mistakes that Mel Brooks was driven insane by, and he felt the need to point them out. Here's ludicrous speed. We're watching the entire movie in 30 seconds.
Oh, that was such a good movie. I loved it.
Yeah. So.
What do you think, Chris? Bottom line. I don't know where you're going with this.
For me, I hate to say this. It's a rental. It's a rental.
You know,
I know.
We're 3 for 3 in the rental category. I'm so sad. I mean, we didn't have a real standout winner here on DVD's Day.
You know what, though? I got one for you.
All right.
I got one for you. Here's my recommend for this week, which actually comes from my daughter, Haley. I raised her right.
Haley.
She's not into Barbie. She's into Godzilla and Invader Zim. My daughter's cool.
She'd do well on this show. You should bring her by sometime.
We should have her on the show.
She's got a future.
She actually lent this to me. Believe it or not, I had to borrow it from my own daughter. It's the Invader Zim box set.
Invader Zim.
They have this new box set. It's actually Zim's house, and it comes with a Gurr action figure. And you can buy it one of two ways. You can buy it with 4 discs, or you can buy it with just the 4th disc, and you can take the 3 disc, which you presumably already have. Tons of extras. There's audio from episodes that weren't released. It's one of those things where it's like, this is an investment, because if you buy this box set, it's going to be worth 3 times as much, you know, on eBay a year from now.
And you get a little house.
And you get a little house, so it's cool on the shelf. It's like a piece of art.
Kids love it.
And it's, you know, it's either, you know, like the Enterprise box set or the Invader Zim box set. I mean, which one's going to get you more action?
I think we know the answer to that, Chris.
That's right, yeah.
Thanks so much for coming.
Thanks again for having me.
Always a pleasure.
Cool.
Remember to visit filmthreat.com or chrisgore.com. You can get anecdotes from him on either site. Chris Gore sings the hits. Working out with Chris Gore, also 2 big favorites here at Attack of the Show. Only $29.95. What is that? You just put thoughts in my head and make me say something bizarre? I felt like something got beamed on me. On the way, it came from eBay, sobers up just long enough to bring you some auction oddities. And Brennan experiences the best part of Star Wars Celebration 3, waiting in line for stuff.
You know, when I was a kid, I really thought I had a shot at starring in the Star Wars movies, because we all knew they were going to be made eventually. Alas, the dream was never realized. But being in a Star Wars film is like a full-time job with the constant pressure of living up to all those fans. Now, the nice thing about Star Wars Celebration is the fans get to meet some of their favorite stars from the films without their makeup on, so they can see what they really look like. I met R2-D2, I met Boba Fett. The guy who plays Chewbacca wouldn't talk to me. Darth Vader did, however. At least he's cool.
I'm trying to assassinate the Queen, and I'm
that's you.
working underneath Jango Fett, and Obi-Wan and Anakin see me and start chasing me.
Do you think that your character's so popular because he's like a really cool bad guy?
I think there are 3 things about Boba Fett. I mean, first of all, the costumes. It's cool, right? Secondly, he answers Darth Vader back, gets away with it. Not many people do that.
Right.
And then, of course, he captures Han Solo. And the fans like him because he's on his own. He's his own man.
You're a Jedi?
I'm a Jedi, yeah. Crazy.
How'd you score that?
I scored that when I was an employee of one of George Lucas's companies, Industrial Light and Magic. I started out as a PA there after college, and then kind of one thing led to another, and we ended up in front of the camera.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard. Now, dressing up like characters from the films is really become kind of an art form. But being your run-of-the-mill stormtrooper is kind of passé. So what you need to do is find kind of a minor character and then make your own costume in excruciating detail.
Here comes my character.
This is you?
She's coming towards me. Yeah.
This is going to be freaky.
Yeah, my name is Karen. I come from Daytona Beach, Florida, and A-List Kara is my favorite Star Wars character.
So you figured, what the hell, put on some blue paint?
Yep.
Come on out.
Yeah, you can't do this every day.
In the big pirate scene in Episode 2, what was your motivation when the swashbucklers came aboard the ship?
All I was looking for was to push them off the ship and take all their bloody gold.
Episode 2, I did a scene where I was eating on the table 100 times. We had 100 plates of tofu, is it? And,
oh, God.
Yeah, God. Yeah. 58, I was spewing in my rings, and they had a spew bucket there. And that's why I don't look too happy when I'm eating, because it's tofu. If you have tofu 100 times over, that's what you look like.
So I need to know, when you guys go to the bathroom, do you cross your streams? Where's your 4th guy? Wasn't there a black guy involved, or what happened to him?
Well, he shaved his head and is going around as Mace Windu now.
So this is the original R2-D2, correct?
Yeah, right.
You were in the little box, right?
Claustrophobic. Uncomfortable.
Did you have little controls that you had to maneuver?
A little bit of control, but not very much. Just move the head that way and move it that way. Shake it a bit. That was about it, really.
That's all there is to it, I guess.
That's all there is to it. No eyebrows.
Do you ever miss the Ewok suit?
Yes and no. I'm very fond of the character because he's given me the opportunity to do everything that I do today in acting and being here at Celebration, for example. But then they were very difficult to work in. They were very hot, very uncomfortable. So I'm fond of the character, but I guess I don't miss the suit.
So yes, most of the people that I talked to were very nice, very accommodating people.
Seemed very, very polite.
Yes. Some people were not because they're hotshot movie stars who dressed up in
costumes and had masks on, and
But we wouldn't name names or which characters were complete tools, would we?
We wouldn't name names. We would say the characters that they play. And in this case, the guy who played Chewbacca was a little off-putting, Kevin.
Toolbag.
So be careful when you run into him. Yeah, he's also like 7 feet tall.
Oh, so I probably shouldn't say that too many times in case I run into him at a convention.
He's not in the building.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Good to know. Good to know. Excellent package, Brandon. Well done. Folks, I'm sorry to say this, but we're not done with you yet. Coming up, we'll be answering our phones, and hopefully you'll be on the other end with your tech questions, because if not, then we'll just have to chat with the dial tone.
And also, next, it's your daily dose of head vitamins known as the feed.
The feed.
Yeah.
Welcome back. We're still busy attacking everyone with our show. Later on, we'll get into some serious mushroom madness with animator Randy Solom.
Nice. And we dig into the mechanics of the Vogon puppets in the hit movie Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes.
Have you seen it yet?
I have not seen the movie yet. No, I was gone all weekend. But
awesome.
and I'm drifting this weekend, so I won't get to see it this weekend.
You're drifting?
I'm going to do a little drifting.
Wow.
But we'll tell you more about that later. But right now, it's time for you to bow your heads in honor of the feed.
Bill Gates recently opened up to the Society of American Business Editors and Writers, saying, "Regrets? I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. Except that time I decided to reward employees with stock options. That was dumb." Claiming that Microsoft is much more savvy about its accounting practices these days, Gates admitted he never should have used stock options as a motivational tool because apparently finding parking spaces for 800-plus limousines got kind of rough, and personal valets kept getting confused with interns, and lunch breaks became 4-hour affairs of martinis, pâté, and ribald tomfoolery. Microsoft halted this policy in 2003 and now rewards exceptional work with punch and pie. Residents of Florida, concerned about the hurricanes and tropical storms that give their homes frequent extreme makeovers, thought they'd be able to get the drop on Mother Nature by signing up for emergency weather email updates. And it might have worked if not for AOL. Yes, it seems the nation's largest ISP tagged these weather alerts as spam and sent them hurtling into the abyss alongside Viagra ads and offers of exotic sex, that sort of thing. More than 4,200 people signed up for the alerts last year, and all were more than a little surprised when no emails came to tell them about Hurricanes Jean and Francis, which huffed and puffed and blew their houses in. AOL is now telling customers to put their county's email address into their contact list so that the filters know to let them through. It's all true. And finally, Boy Scouts in Hong Kong are earning merit badges, but not in pottery or personal fitness or wood carving or anything normal like that. No, these kids are earning merit badges in intellectual property. If the Scouts prove they understand the ins and outs of copyright law, they get awarded the badge. And we're not 100%, but we think it looks something like this. Like that. Now, this can only set a horrible precedent where Boy Scouts are taken out into nature, into the harsh world of corporate business. They'll be earning badges in litigation, or perhaps work delegation and avoidance of responsibility. We know that one. Or maybe a badge for necessary downsizing, or most importantly, the coveted weighing the pros and cons of a 401k versus a Roth IRA when planning for retirement badge. That's right. That's today's feed. I'm all out of time. Like we Scouts around here like to always remind each other, be prepared.
Yes,
Boys?
be prepared.
That's right.
I guess no more selling VCDs instead of cookies.
No.
For the Scouts.
Well, they didn't. That was the Girl Scouts do the cookies.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
What do the Boy Scouts do? I don't know.
They do the other miscellaneous little things.
Do they sell stuff?
They can, I guess.
Weren't you a Boy Scout?
Yeah, I was, but we never sold anything.
You didn't do anything? You're like,
no, I mean,
it.
we had the little fundraisers to go to camp and stuff like that, but it wasn't like, we were going door to door or anything like that.
You ripped your patches off other people's
no.
clothes? No.
No.
All right.
I wasn't a mean scout like that.
Just checking. I mean, it's viable.
They're out there.
It's viable.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, we take a closer look at the making of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and the man behind the video game director's cut is here to explain himself and hopefully his actions.
The Feed is brought to you by the U.S. Navy. Navy, accelerate your life.
Poor Mario. As a lifelong gamer, Randy Solom sat through more than his fair share of video game cinematics, so naturally, he decided to make some of his own. Please welcome Randy to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, tell me about the Video Game Director's Cut.
Video Game Director's Cut is basically a site I created where I take old video game graphics and create movies out of them using Macromedia Flash.
Now, how long have you been doing this? Because you've been at this for a while, right?
Yeah, since 2000, actually.
Okay. Back in 2000, there weren't a lot of people doing this. I mean, now you see a lot of little, video game kind of tributes and whatnot, but you got into it pretty early?
Yeah, I was on Newgrounds.com, and I was checking out the movies there one time. And this guy named Clark Liebeck was making these sprite movies, and he had a site at the time called Nintendo Classics, and I decided to take my shot at it, made a couple of them, got really popular.
So did you go back, you went back and voted on his again and gave them all ones, and then gave yourself 5s?
No, I gave him 5. Okay. we were on the same level, so. Yeah, so I started making my own movies, and a site came about it, and then Newgrounds, Tom Fulp, the creator of Newgrounds, decided to host me. I've been with them ever since.
Very nice. And so that's been the connection with Newgrounds. They've been supporting you. And
yep, plugging them today. So.
And, well, yeah, no, it looks good. So they provide your wardrobe and your hosting.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Well, thank you, Tom, for helping them out. Now, what inspired you to do this type of animation?
Well, I've always had a love for the games, ever since I was younger. It's a big part of my childhood.
Right.
I was growing up with Mario and all that. So first thing I would do when I started working with Flash is to just make these movies.
Did you start making these to learn Flash, or were you already pretty proficient with
I played with a little bit of Flash. I had a degree in graphic design. I graduated in 2000. So I was pretty proficient in Photoshop and Illustrator, things like that.
Okay.
So when I started working with Flash, I did some cartoons, but the video game ones are what I basically do now.
Now, what's the technique? Did you go and download a bunch of ROMs and then use tools to extract
I had all
the sprites?
that stuff,
or how
ROMs,
did that work?
emulators, things like that. And
Totally legal because you own them.
I own them. I do own them all. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, kiddies, don't download that unless you have the games.
Right.
It's illegal. Yeah, so I would take the screenshots and paste them into Photoshop, manipulate them, add them the way I want it to look, and bring them in Flash.
So your artwork's pretty much built for you. You're just animating with their sprites.
Except for when I had to do a modified sprite, because you don't really have, Mario dying. You don't have his casket built. I made that myself. Things like that.
Now that. I mean, you're working with Mario, you're working with Sonic, you're working with established game characters. I got to believe that there's somebody knocking on your door from, one of these big game companies. Hasn't anybody?
I've never heard anything, believe it or not. I thought I would have, but I've never heard anything.
You just don't answer the door, or they actually haven't?
No, I've never heard anything.
That's great.
If anything, I hope they know that I appreciate the games. I've loved them since I was younger, and I always had a love for the game. So I want to hope that they understand I'm turning a new generation of gamers on these old games.
Right, this isn't out of spite, this is out of love and appreciation for them.
Yes.
I got you. Now, Rise of the Mushroom Kingdom, this has sort of blown up. I mean, I'd seen your work before, but now everybody's sharing it. Tell me about Rise of the Mushroom Kingdom and how that came about.
Well, there was this kid on Newgrounds. He created a little epic series. His name was Nova Crow. That was his username. And it was called, just like titled simply Mario Brothers. It was a big epic battle between Mushroom Kingdom and Bowser, the bad guy, the Koopas. And I decided to take it in my own direction, using 16-bit sprites, and
you kicked it up a notch.
I tried to kick it up a notch. I mean, I don't know if I did a better job, but I was pretty happy with it.
Right. And so what's the concept with Rise of the Mushroom Kingdom?
Just with the whole what it's all about.
Yeah.
Just Mario is killed, being all happy, going through Mushroom Kingdom one day, he gets killed, and they had the whole funeral and everything, and
and this got an emotional response out of people, right?
Yes,
they reacted to this.
Yeah, I've actually had mothers call me and seeing that their child's childhood hero died.
Oh, man.
They tell me the kid was traumatized. And
their kids were like 27 years old or now?
Probably, I don't know.
Okay.
But it's funny because it's a bunch of moving dots, and that I could do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Make kids cry over their childhood hero dying. It's pretty.
Well, you brought
cool.
one of your latest works for us, so I think if you care to set it up, we'd love to see it.
After Rise of the Mushroom Kingdom, I was getting sick of doing these epic, huge movies. It took me 6 months, so I decided to get back to the quickies. So with help from my friend Bridget, she helped me with ideas. I came up with a new Sonic quickie. Sonic the Hedgehog 1 was one of my favorite games when I was younger. So
the original
Sonic. The original Sonic.
Old school.
Not the anime Sonic of today. I can't stand him. So.
All right, well, let's take a look at your Sonic quickie. Little Dr. Robotnik there.
Yeah, bathroom humor, it's the best.
Yeah. Well done.
Thanks.
Well done. Thanks for coming on the show and sharing the animations with us.
Thanks,
we appreciate it.
Hi, Mom.
If you want more work from Randy, just visit videogamedc.com. Now, let's go ahead and disturb Sarah and Brendan.
What?
Bathroom humor.
Ah, right. It makes our jobs seem pretty small sometimes. Someone's that creative, huh, Brendan?
It's tough to follow bathroom humor.
It is.
It's
I don't
not
even know how.
impossible.
I don't even know how, so I'm not even going to try. But moving on, Taltodian fanboys put The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in the #1 slot at the box office this past weekend. And those who saw it at the El Capitan Theater here in L.A. even got to meet some of the stars.
Ooh, what's that like, Sarah?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
We decided to catch up with the creative director of Jim Henson Creature Shop to find out what's behind some of the movie's less human characters.
Jim Henson's Creature Shop was involved with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy pretty early on. In terms of the scope of this movie, this was a huge task, not just in terms of the amount of characters that were required, but the size of them as well. Obviously, each character has its own inherent difficulties. You know, Marvin, the paranoid alien, for example, has a huge head, and so we had to come up with the optimum diameter of the head so that the guy inside wasn't going to, you know, struggle with the weight of the head on him.
Here I am, brain the size of a planet, and they ask me to take you up to the bridge. Call that job satisfaction, because I don't.
The Vogons. Now, these are pretty sophisticated animatronic characters. The mechanical underskull of the character houses about 35 computer-controlled motors. Nowadays, with these great characters here from Hitchhikers, the performance is computer-controlled by a puppeteer. And this computer technology allows a single puppeteer to be able to orchestrate the performance of a single character.
Kidnapping the president. Oh no, she's not eligible for release at this time.
The advantage we have at the moment is using the computer, the puppeteer can program a specific facial expression and play it back time after time after time. So the puppeteer then is able to have, in a sense, a repertory group of expressions that he or she can call upon, giving him a tremendous amount of flexibility.
Let's do that so that the cup is just hovering. It can jump in between those lines really, really quickly. All right.
The flexibility that now gives us is great. We can improvise and fly with the punches on set. I think animatronics has become really an established tool. 10 years ago, we were worried that computer graphics, for example, was going to take away a lot of work from animatronics. I think it's kind of balanced out. There's a clear advantage to using characters that exist in the real world. They can interact with actors, they can be directed by a director, they can ad-lib their lines. So really, I think animatronics has become an established special effects method.
See, Brendan?
It was stuck in my head for weeks.
Do a little dance. Do it. Do it. All right. See, Brendan?
We're running out of time here, Sarah.
As for what we just saw, there's a lot more to the Creature Shop than just Muppets, don't you think?
Yes, I do.
And
I do. Yeah, after having watched that.
Good.
Yeah.
What's going on with you? You've been drinking?
No.
All right, I'm just checking. Hitchhiker's Guide is still in theaters, and if you haven't seen it yet, you definitely should.
When we return, it came from eBay's back, and it wants that $10 that you owe it.
Better get ready, and we'll be taking your questions, so call us. But be warned, any heavy breathing, we hang up.
On tomorrow's show, the hits just keep on coming. Giant robot editor Eric Nakamura is back with Asian pop culture news so fresh, it's actually still kicking. And Kevin is on the hunt for the best spyware scanners for another fun-filled dark tip. Oh, yeah, and the producer of first-person shooter Pariah, James Smalls, is here to show off some next-generation game footage you don't want to miss it. All right, fire up your gaming PCs because we're playing Star Wars Galaxies Jump to Light Speed in this week's Attack of the Show LAN party. Specially included in Galaxies this week is exclusive preview footage from Episode 3. That's amazing, right? It will be, actually. It'll be there if you download the script and act it out in game.
Nice. To register, go to our website and click on Join Our LAN Party. You get all the details and all the links that you're going to need, actually, to get started. And we'll see you Thursday for the Screensavers LAN Party. I'm very excited about
this.
It's
in 2 days.
Yeah.
2 days, Kevin.
Do you like the jump to light speed?
Not a big Galaxies fan.
Yeah, me neither.
Not a big Galaxies guys. But, you know, hey, all right, jump to light speed.
Played it a couple times. Yeah.
Let's drive some ships
That's
around
right.
and shoot things.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Trent joins us on the phone now from Nashville, Tennessee. Trent, are you there?
Hey, man.
How's it going?
Trent.
Hey, I just want to let you know, I've named you to Kevin 1 and Kevin 2.
Ah.
And I think Kevin 2 is so much cooler.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you. I appreciate
Depends
it.
on who Kevin 2 is.
I'm tickling it. It happens. I'm a revision.
Yeah.
It happens.
So what's your
All right,
question?
Matt. I've wanted to know what Linux is for so long. You guys are always talking about it.
It's, yeah, a little bit. Sometimes we mention it. It's like Windows, but unstable.
Nice try.
Not it?
I mean,
like OS X, but ugly.
Well, I mean, you guys got a bunch of cool things for it.
Yeah, I mean,
you're a Linux guy.
There's a ton of cool stuff out there. Basically, Linux is an open source operating system. So that means rather than a corporation like Microsoft programming and creating the OS, it's left up to individuals just like me and you that can go out and actually program, and you can contribute to it. Anyone can.
Right.
And it's free. It's completely free. You can download it. There's so many different variations of it out there. There's everything from little bootable CDs to embedded Linux devices that you see that like set-top boxes.
Right,
like
you can run it on your iPod if you need to.
TiVo runs Linux.
Right. Now, what are the pros? Why would someone at home who's probably running Windows or running, Apple, running an OS?
Well,
why would they want to install a Linux?
It's built off of. I mean, it's kind of like the underpinnings of the operating system is a Unix core. So it's been banged on for years and years and years. It's much more stable than like a Windows-based operating system. Just the way that it was designed from the ground up is a lot more robust. It's free. It's completely free. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to worry about spyware or adware. You don't have to worry about a lot of the viruses. There's, every once in a while, random.
But you do have to worry about not having a lot of applications that you're used to that will run on.
You're going to have to go with the alternatives to those applications. Like Microsoft Office isn't going to be there, but there'll be OpenOffice.
Right. There'll be the GIMP.
Right. Exactly. Versus Photoshop. So it's a great thing to play with. There's a lot of money to be made in this area. It's really growing. It's catching on with popularity. I mean, there's almost all servers, web-based servers, are all. I mean, there is a lot of internet information servers out there, but most of the hardcore stuff is all Linux-based. I'd get into it. It's a lot of fun.
But if you love the games, think twice. I just have to say, yes, Linux games are out there, but just think twice. Yes, it definitely dual boot. All right, guess what, folks? It's that time again, Kevin.
What's that?
250 pounds of sweaty, pink, and sloppy. It came from eBay. Howdy, Miss Lane.
All that Linux talk.
Yeah.
I hope you can beat that.
Well, we're gonna get started right away. Grundle Love from the G4 forums, reaching out to the community and pulling out an eBay item right here. The mind reading machine. Take a look at it, folks. It's going for $152. It's got 21 bids. But look at this guy, man. That is a mind reading machine, clearly.
It's very, it looks like it really works.
His mind is being read. Sarah, what do you think his mind is saying right now?
Oh, what does that guy think?
I don't know if we're allowed to even say it on TV.
Yeah, let's not.
But it's by the same guy who supposedly made that shrinking machine that we showed off last week. The same crazy inventor.
The same inventor made.
Yeah, this guy.
Well, let's get one in, and I want to know what's on your mind. Well, no, I don't really want to know that either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't.
I don't want to know what's on anybody's mind.
Okay.
We'd all hate each other.
We won't bid then.
We
won't. Napoleon, you don't have to be a mind reader to know we all hate each other. It happens.
That's
Napoleon
obvious.
Dynamite style time machine. If you love the movie, you're going to love the memorabilia. Look at this here. It's just like Uncle Rico would use. There it is. You like, no? Did you not? Okay. Did you see a Napoleon Dynamite?
Sure did.
That's a pretty well done prop.
I like it. I like it a lot. Does it work, though?
Well, look at the power cord. I'm going to go
Because I'm not paying for a time machine that doesn't work.
In the future, apparently, they don't need prongs on their power cords.
How much is this going for? Because that might influence my decision.
It's $202.50 right now.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Hey, look, someone spent the time to make it, so... Hey, that's good. All right, this one you're going to like.
Give me something I can use.
When FedEx fails you, go with the Express Ninja Courier Service.
Hey, now.
Now, it says, quote, ninjas may not be formally trained. Instead, they may have their own...
Can you choose your color? Because I like red.
You know, it does not say. It does not say. But it's a ninja nonetheless. then they'll
The Ninja
send
will
it.
come to your home, take your parcel,
Yes.
and deliver it with love?
Deliver it with Ninja, with unique skills that can't be taught in an ordinary dojo.
Well, not
That's
everybody
the
can be a
thing.
ninja. We all know that.
Unorthodox delivery
How
methods.
much per order?
Right now, well, the starting, you can buy it now for $10,000.
By the Ninja itself?
By the Ninja service.
Oh, I buy the
for
Ninja
$10,000.
service.
Look, it's
I hope that's a lifetime service.
I hope so
For
too.
$10,000. Better be careful.
I'm most proud of this one. You know, I like to end on a bang. I like to have the kicker. And here it is, the Bulge Enhancement Swimwear Insert. You can look bigger now for only $19. You can buy it now for $29. But this is waterproof, Sarah.
This is such a gem of the internet ripoff. I'm just going to say that right now.
This is an eBay auction. But look at how unnatural the Bulge looks. I just have to point that out. It looks like he's smuggling an old, like...
What's hanging off the left?
It looks like an old 3-button mouse. I don't know. But there you have it. Could be a trackball for all I know.
Wow. That was a bang, Kevin. Thank you for that.
Sarah, always expect the unexpected when it came from eBay.
Thanks, Kevin. Always a good time.
Love it. Stay where you are. We'll be lighting select portions of the set on fire when we return.
Awesome.
All right, let's see what's going on in the old internet relay chat room. That's right.
You guys ready?
Yes.
First question from Skimster3000, who asks, is it really worth it to buy Photoshop CS2?
I didn't know you could buy Photoshop. I mean, oh, sorry. No, I don't know. I mean, what new features? Anybody know?
You can ask me. I haven't played around with it yet. To be honest, I love Photoshop. It's a great tool. But I'm like you. I haven't even had a chance to play around with it yet.
I saw there was one tutorial that I saw that had like the stamp tool that allows you can copy a portion of a picture and then paste it somewhere else. It had like this intelligent stamp tool where it was like somebody's deck, and they did the lines on the deck to show what the angle of the picture was, and it would intelligently do the stamp tool.
I got an idea. Let's bring somebody on to talk about the new features in CS2.
Let's do it. Done.
Does that work?
We'll let you know later.
Let's do it.
All right. Do we have one final question?
No. We don't. Sorry.
We don't?
It's true.
Wow.
Another show is over.
Wow.
No more time
Like
for any
that?
more well-answered questions.
That happens.
Seems fast.
Thanks to our guests, Chris Gore and Randy Solom.
You stay where you are. The infamous Adam Sessler episode of Murder, She Wrote is up next.
I love that show.
All right.
Wardrobe for Attack of the Show provided by Jinx. Tune in, geek out.